So I guess it was really only performance art to me because no one ever knew at the time that I was a different person. I was always billed as Pee Wee Herman. I did my interviews as Pee Wee Herman. I went many years without ever being photographed out of character until one day when I was and I always felt that really what I did in that way was why everything turned out so extreme when I'm not gonna. I don't want to get into this right now, but I felt like there was just such a strong juxtaposition between like my mugshot and my Pee-wee pictures, and there was nothing ever in between that. So, you know, in hindsight, I could say maybe that backfired, but I don't really believe that because I have no regrets really about anything other than turning down. To host the White House Easter egg hunt under Reagan. And in hindsight, I should have said yes because I was never invited again. How do you get a bike, you know? No one, I'm the only person here who doesn't have a bike. And they're like, well, get you a bike, don't worry. And one day I came back from lunch, and there was this beautiful 1947 fully restored Schwinn racer, which is actually the bike that's on the poster for Big Adventure. It's not the souped-up bike in the movie. And it was chained up to a post that had a sign with a character that said, Pee Wee Herman bike parking only. And I looked at it and went, oh my God, like I'm writing the wrong movie. And literally, this will date it a tiny bit, ran in and pulled the paper out of the electric typewriter bigger than this table, and just started, you know, the bike, he loves the bike, and it was just to use another 70s expression, I mean, it was a very organic kind of experience. I mean, I knew immediately I'm writing the wrong movie, this is it. I'd never written a movie before. I bought Sid Field's The Screenplay, and we did exactly what they said. And it's a 90-minute film, it's a 90-page script. On page 30, I lose my bike. On page 60, I find it. I mean, it's literally exactly what they said to do in the book. There should be like a MacGuffin kind of a thing. There should be something you're looking for. I was like, okay, my bike. It's really, I mean, really, it's a good example of how anybody could write a movie if you follow the rules. And they said, you can have a week to find somebody that will, that's affordable, approvable, available, 3 A's. And I went to a party that night, and it was mostly groundlings, and I ran around to every single person at the party and was like, does anybody know a director? I got to meet a director for my movie. And a girl named Mary Edith Burrell, who's a writer and a performer, looked at me and went, oh my God, Paul, oh my God, Paul, oh, Paul, oh my God, I just met the... And she had just seen Frankenweenie. And I had just worked with Shelley Duvall, and Mary Edith said, Shelley Duvall's in the movie, call Shelley Duvall and ask her about Tim. And I called Shelley Duvall, and she did the exact same thing on the phone. She went, oh my God, Paul, you and him are perfect for each other. So we screened Frankenweenie, me and my manager, the next morning, and literally 30 seconds into the film, 15 seconds. I mean, I can remember the opening shot of it. I believe, I haven't seen it since then, but I think that there's wallpaper in the shot. And I remember looking at the wallpaper and the shot, and it's black and white, and just like the composition, and just immediately going, this is someone who understands art direction and style. And to this day, if you make a comedy in Hollywood and you go like, well, what about the art direction? Or I'm looking for a director, I want to add like some, either style or some type of style. They're like, it's a comedy. You know, what are you talking about? Like, and I've never really understood that because art direction really doesn't cost anything. It's just something you do. So that's how I wound up with Tim. I called Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers said, yeah, Tim Burton, we know all about Tim Burton, he will never do it, we won't send it to him. Because he had evidently turned every project at Warner Brothers down. They'd sent him 15 films, and he'd said no to all of them. And my manager got it to him because Warner's refused to give it to him. And he read it the same day and agreed the same day. Thinking, when me or anybody on my writing staff would think of something that we would all identify immediately as something that would kill a 6-year-old, that would make a 6-year-old fall off the couch onto the floor, that was the funniest feeling to me. I mean, I would just get such gratification out of just realizing we had like hit something that a kid would think was funny. And so pee-pee and poo-poo seemed like, you know, the show is designed for 6-year-olds. It seemed like I couldn't get why they were arguing with me about pee. Like they were like, it's pee-pee, you know, and it's a kid show. And I was like, yeah. Exactly. So the only other thing they asked me to do is we had an episode, Fire in the Playhouse episode, and Miss Yvonne says to the firefighter, he says, you should have a smoke detector in every room, and she says, I have a smoke detector in my bedroom over the bed. And, it aired once. CBS didn't say one word about it, but they got one letter. Somebody wrote in and said they thought it was inappropriate, and so in the subsequent 3 airings, each episode aired 4 times. In the subsequent airing, she says, and her lips aren't moving the same way, but she says, I have a smoke detector in my kitchen over the sink. But again, if you go back to the DVDs, she says the real thing.